Hi guys, and welcome to our channel. This is Faith-Filled Marriage, and we are a London Christian couple who answer questions about relationships and marriage, including those kind of awkward ones, and all of that from a biblical perspective. My name's Deborah, and this is Erin, and today we're going to be talking about how knowing the love languages actually helps our relationship.
No.
What?
First of all,
yeah,
in the description below,
yeah,
there's the link to find out your love language. Because I think probably before we start, we should explain what you do. So you take this test, which sort of is like a bit like a personality test, right? To find out what, according to that website, your metered results are. So you've got 5 different types, and it will explain to you what it believes. Mm-hmm. That's the key, isn't it? That what it believes.
Based on your answers.
Based on your answers, what your what your preferred and dominant, that's the good word, dominant love languages are. So what are they again? It's acts of kindness, or acts of service, sorry.
Acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, gift giving, and quality time.
Right. What do you think is your biggest one?
I think my biggest one is gifts.
Probably right. Now, I think mine is acts of service, but I'm not sure.
I think you have a mix between like acts of service and words of affirmation. I think they're quite linked up. They're very close.
Really? Because this is the thing I've been struggling with, right? I don't know where I detect the words of affirmation thing.
I might be wrong.
You might be wrong, but you might be right, and that's what we can.
I think sometimes with like words of affirmation, people think it's like compliments, like you saying like, "Oh, you look good today," and like you're not really fussed by that kind of stuff.
When you know the truth of it.
Yeah, but actually it could be things like, say if you've done something, you want some feedback on it. You don't want it just to sort of.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I do like a bit of feedback.
You don't want it sort of.
Hi, Mum.
You prefer something rather than like
I
nothing.
drew this car. Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of thing.
That's a true story, by the way, because that really is.
So do you reckon knowing our love languages has helped our relationship?
Thinking about it now, I believe that it probably has helped a bit, and specifically in a couple of ways. Mm-hmm. Number one, yes, it's given a bit of direction. Mm. But what I think is more active in our relationship is it probably has helped eliminate some misunderstanding.
Yeah, I think when you did a test, like your physical touch was like further. It wasn't like a top one. Like for me, gifts is quite high. Yeah. But like physical touch is quite high. It's like very, very close. Where physical touch is quite high for you, if I can remember properly, but how you want to receive physical touch is quite different as to how I would want to receive it.
For sure.
Like if you check out our last video about physical touch, we explain about how we recently got a new, we've discovered after 15 years how we can sit on the sofa comfortably with me leaning on him, but him not feeling claustrophobic and like he wants to just sort of push me off.
I don't push you off.
I said want to push me off.
I don't ever want to push you off. But I don't want to be leaned on as well. So.
Yeah, so
it's not a case of want to push you off. Sometimes I must push you off. How about that? No. There's. It's just that the body has a certain limit as how much restriction.
How much you can take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, whereas for example, I really like to lean on him. He doesn't like to be leaned on, and that sort of took work to work out how to get something where we're both happy.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate.
So in terms of that we had sort of a discussion about that, and even like kissing. So
yeah, see, for me, hugs are way more important than kisses.
Yeah, I like both, but kisses they're fun.
Interesting.
What?
Are kisses fun or are they functional? I wonder.
Oh.
No, it's a question. I didn't make a statement.
I know. This is quite an interesting question.
Because
Right, you could go really like functional includes the word fun.
Oh. Okay, from a functional point of view, there is that, but hugs also have. My point of view for hugs is that I can't get closer.
Oh yeah, I mean there's all the science behind hugs as well. Like the hugs itself, they release certain things in your brain, like that kissing doesn't do.
Maybe.
It's like there's certain things about a hug, like we're just like wired to like want hugs.
Okay, I think I can explain the kiss hug thing for me just now better than I ever could before. Okay. Kisses are exciting, and I'll go along with you about the fun thing, right? But hugs are home.
Okay,
And that is so, for me, that's really important. Mm-hmm. That feeling of, it's not just being hugged, it's also hugging because I'm able to hold on to you. That's a big deal for me.
I think so in that way, knowing our love language actually has helped because we were able to, it sort of gave us the tools to communicate a bit better.
Which also, that comes with patience as well, doesn't it? Because they don't have, I suppose, words of affirmation. Yeah, okay. Because if you think about the breadth of words of affirmation, for me...
It's not just, I love you.
No. But it's true, but that's not it.
Yeah.
For me, if you think about the breadth of words of affirmation, actually, conversation is a big deal. It always is, for me. If we're not conversing properly, then that...
Well, it's a bit difficult to affirm somebody if you don't know what's going on in their lives.
No. Yeah, of course that. But I mean, in general, when we have conversations, it's not like we're tearing each other apart. We're actually working on a thing, and that's built usually together, and that is the building blocks of the relationship.
I think mostly love languages, knowing our love languages has helped our relationship. The only thing that I think that can be detrimental with love languages is that it's really easy to be fixated on them.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And so it's really easy to be like, well, my love language is this, and he knows it. I'm not saying I've necessarily had these conversations in my head, but I'm either going to deny or accept it. That's, you can just take it as you are. But it's really easy to be like, well, we've done this test together, and he knows my love language, and why isn't he showing me that? And all of it is actually a case of that was 2 days ago, and he might not necessarily remember right now. And
it does go both ways.
Of course. No, and vice versa. I'm just saying I can't speak for you, so it's.
You probably do in lots of places.
What? Speak for you?
I can't speak for Erin, but and then you nail it.
Well, we've been together quite a long time.
Exactly.
That's one of the benefits of marriage. You get to understand another person.
I agree.
More than anybody else other than God.
Pardon? I want to make sure I heard it right.
I said that's one of the nice things about marriage is that you get to know another person more than anybody else outside of, other than God, because obviously he knows everything. Yeah. So it's really easy to sort of get fixated and expect the other person to also understand how you want to receive it. I think when he did the test and he got physical touch, I was sort of like...
So was I.
I was like,
let's be honest with ourselves.
Are you sure, Mr. Algorithm? But actually, when we talked it out, then we worked out, actually, it's not that it's not accurate. It's more that we just show it in a different, in a different way.
Actually, that was a big one because it prompted the conversation for us to figure out kiss versus hug.
For example.
For that thing is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Can you imagine how much of an argument, or not an argument, that's the wrong word. Can you imagine how much, I guess, ill at ease we would be with each other, or have a lack of understanding there? That is very useful.
Yeah.
That was very useful. That's a +1 for the love languages thing. Okay, so this one, it kind of bothers me a bit because it's just a question. Like, for example, can a person favor receiving a particular love language, let's say giving gifts? Do they particularly like to receive gifts, but they prefer to give, let's say, words of affirmation?
I don't know. I think like the idea was his name, like Gary Chapman. I think was the guy who came up with this sort of concept. He said like I think it's the one you give is the one you like to receive.
I mean, it's logical, but and it's expected. But I wonder if it's actually accurate. That one.
I think
it's
it is
just
for
a
me.
question.
Like I don't like. I like to give gifts. I know. Well, I like to give gifts. I know that I give gifts to you quite regularly. I also like to receive gifts. So on that one is not big gifts, just a bar of chocolate here and there or something.
My biggest one, I think, is acts of service, and it probably is. Maybe it's true, but I mean, when I do certain acts of service, I kind of think that this feels meaningful to me, for you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think you take.
So it does make sense that the one that you like to receive the most is probably the one that you also like to give the most. That does make sense because, I mean, it does make sense because you consider it meaningful toward you. So necessarily, no, it's expected that you would consider it meaningful outwardly as well.
At the end of the day, knowing your love languages can help your relationship, but it is not the be all and end all. Like knowing each other's love language isn't like waving like magic fairy dust and like there you are great at communicating now. It's not how it works. You have to put effort into a relationship. It's more of a tool that can open up conversations, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think it's certainly not a fixer.
No.
It can be a helper, but there is nothing that replaces actually communicating with one another.
Exactly.
That is a huge deal. And I suppose if a couple has their priorities in the right place, and of course from our point of view, when we get married, God is in the mix with that.
Yeah.
Because if he's not present in the marriage and we don't have our priorities right in the first place, upward then outward, then all of our fixing, we don't need to fix anything, but all of our work is in vain anyway, because if the priorities are all wrong, then it's all wrong. If our foundation is wrong, then it's all wrong. But our foundation is fine, so we can get stronger. You know, you can't, I don't know, build a skyscraper without a good foundation.
Exactly.
So,
if knowing your love languages in your relationship has helped you, please let us know in the comments below. And what are they?
yeah.
Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. Bye guys!
Bye.